My parents threw me out at 16. So my sister could move back with her boyfriend. So get this. You know how sweet 16 is supposed to be, this big deal with cake and presents? Mine came with a one-way ticket to my uncle's place. No cap. It was a regular Thursday in Nashville when my parents sat me down at our kitchen table, that fancy glass one Mom got on sale at Pottery Barn that she never lets anyone actually eat at. Dad was wearing his serious business Nike polo, and Mom had that tight smile that always means bad news. We need to talk about some changes, Dad started, fidgeting with his Apple Watch like he was timing how long this convo would take. Turns out, my older sister Caitlin, the golden child with the communications degree hanging in the hallway next to her high school cheerleading trophies, wanted to move back home with her boyfriend and their massive German shepherd that sheds like crazy. And apparently in our 4-bedroom house there just wasn't enough space for little old me anymore. Honey, we've been thinking, Mom said, reaching for my hand across the table. You're so independent now. Wouldn't you love staying with Uncle Owen for a while, just until you graduate? I sat there like someone had dumped a Slurpee down my back. You're kicking me out? I finally managed to say. Dad cleared his throat. We're not kicking you out. We're helping you transition to adulthood. We'll still pay your expenses until you're 18. Right, because nothing says happy birthday like getting your stuff packed into the back of Dad's Ford F-150 and shipped off to make room for your sister's IKEA furniture collection and a dog that eats Nikes for breakfast. The worst part, while driving me to Uncle Owen's, they were literally discussing how they'd redecorate my room. Mom was scrolling through Pinterest on her phone showing Dad paint swatches. I'm thinking Sherwin-Williams sea salt for the walls, she said, like I wasn't even there in the back seat watching my life get Marie Kondo'd right before my eyes. When we pulled up to Uncle Owen's place in East Nashville, Mom gave me one of those quick hugs that smell like Michael Kors perfume and whispered, "This is for the best, sweetie." Dad handed me my suitcases like they were Amazon packages he couldn't wait to deliver, and just like that, they bounced. No looking back, no second thoughts, just the red taillights of Dad's truck disappearing down the street while I stood there on the sidewalk feeling like yesterday's DoorDash order nobody wanted. Uncle Owen opened his door, confusion written all over his face. He's my dad's younger brother, the cool one who works at a record label downtown and collects vintage guitars. Wasn't expecting the whole entourage, he said, looking at my 3 suitcases and backpack. Surprise, I said, trying not to cry. I'm your new roommate. It took about 5 minutes of sitting at Owen's kitchen counter, a legit counter, not one of those fake decorative ones, before he got the real story out of me. His face went from confused to straight up furious. They told me this was temporary, he said, running a hand through his hair. Said you wanted some space from home for a few weeks. I shook my head. They're turning my bedroom into Caitlin's boyfriend's home office. Mom already ordered a standing desk. Uncle Owen grabbed his phone faster than someone snatching the last PS5 on Black Friday. He put it on speaker when my mom answered. Hey, Sarah, quick question, he said, voice way too calm. Did you just drop your 16-year-old daughter at my place so Caitlin and her boyfriend could have more space in your massive house? The silence on the other end was louder than a Taylor Swift concert. Owen, you don't understand the situation, Mom finally said. Oh, I think I understand perfectly, he replied. You chose one kid over the other, real parent of the year material. Mom started with some speech about family dynamics and transitional periods, but Uncle Owen wasn't having it. Save it for your TikTok followers, Sarah, he said before hanging up. Then he turned to me, his face softening. Listen, you can stay here as long as you need. For real, we'll figure this out. For the first time since my parents dropped their bombshell, I felt like I could breathe again. Update. Wow, I didn't expect this post to blow up like it did. Thanks for all the support. Many of you asked if I confronted my parents after moving out. Well, things escalated in ways I never imagined. My Instagram post about the situation went viral in our family circles, and now my parents are furious. They keep calling, demanding I take it down. But here's the weird part. My grandma just called Uncle Owen asking for details. What do you think she's planning? Living with Uncle Owen was actually pretty sick. His apartment had this cool industrial vibe with exposed brick and vintage concert, posters everywhere. He gave me the spare room that used to be his home studio, which meant I had my own bathroom, an upgrade from sharing with Caitlin, who treated counter space like it was prime real estate on Monopoly. A week after moving in, I was still processing everything when I made what my parents later called a catastrophic mistake. I posted on Instagram. Nothing fancy, just a simple, black and white photo of my suitcases by the door with the caption, "When your parents decide your sister's boyfriend and dog deserve your bedroom more than you do. 16 and homeless. Family favoritism." That post spread through our family faster than gossip at a church potluck. Suddenly, relatives I barely talked to were sliding into my DMs offering support. My cousin Emma drove over with a Target gift card and her old mini fridge. Even my homeroom teacher noticed and asked if I needed to talk. My phone blew up with texts from my parents demanding I take down the post immediately. "You're making us look terrible," Mom wrote. "This isn't fair to your..." Sister, Caitlin texted too. "Can we talk in person, please?" I blocked them all faster than you can say toxic family dynamics. Uncle Owen backed me up completely. They made their choice, he said, helping me hang fairy lights in my new room. They can deal with the consequences. The real drama kicked off when my parents ambushed me outside the public library. I was returning some books when their Mercedes pulled up beside me. Mom rolled down the window, her face tight like she'd had extra Botox. "Get in," she said. "We need to talk." "I'm good out here," I replied, clutching my backpack strap. Dad got out of the car, looking around like he was worried someone might recognize him. "This has gone too far. Your grandmother is threatening to change her will because of your little stunt online." And there it was, the real reason for their sudden interest in my well-being. Not because they missed me or regretted their decision, but because Grandma Elaine, Dad's mom who lives in this massive house in Belmead and is loaded from her late husband's insurance business, was pissed. "So this isn't about missing me," I said. "It's about Grandma's money." Mom's face did that thing where she's trying to look concerned, but is actually calculating costs in her head. "Of course we miss you, sweetie, but you need to understand the bigger picture here." "I think I see it pretty clearly," I said. "You chose Caitlin, her boyfriend, and their dog over me. And now you're choosing money over apologizing." Dad stepped closer, lowering his voice. "Just come home for Sunday dinner. Show your grandmother everything's fine. After that, you can go back to Owen's if that's what you really want." I looked at them, really looked at them, standing there in their designer clothes next to their luxury car, worried about losing their inheritance, but not about losing their relationship with their daughter. "No thanks," I said, turning away. "I have plans with my actual family." I walked away feeling lighter than I had in years, like I'd finally put down a backpack full of rocks I'd been carrying my whole life. Update: I'm blown away by all your messages. So many of you asked about Caitlin. Despite everything, I agreed to meet her at Starbucks yesterday. I was ready for excuses, but what happened took me completely by surprise. She showed up with tears in her eyes and confessed something about my parents I never knew. Now I'm wondering, should I forgive her when she was benefiting from my situation all along? Is family loyalty worth rebuilding? The Frappuccino was melting in front of me at Starbucks as I waited for Caitlin to show. Part of me thought she'd ghost, but right as I was about to bail, she rushed in wearing her Vanderbilt sweatshirt, hair pulled back in that messy bun she somehow makes look Instagram perfect. "Thanks for meeting me," she said, sliding into the seat across from me. Her eyes were puffy like she'd been crying. I stirred my drink. "What do you want, Caitlin?" She took a deep breath. "First, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for not standing up for you." "You didn't just not stand up for me," I said. "You literally took my room." She nodded, tears forming. "I know, and there's no excuse. But there's something you should know. Mom and Dad have always played favorites, but it's been suffocating." Caitlin explained how our parents had micromanaged her entire life, picking her college major, approving her boyfriends, even controlling her finances despite her having a job at a PR firm. Moving back home was their idea, not hers. They'd convinced her boyfriend it was a smart financial move, but really, they wanted her back under their thumb. "When I heard what they did to you," she said, "I lost it on them. We had this massive fight. Tyler and I are looking for an apartment now. So you're leaving too?" I asked. She nodded. "I should have never let them treat you that way. Growing up as the perfect child wasn't a gift, it was a cage." For the first time, I saw my sister not as the golden child, but as another victim of our parents' control. "Different cage, same zoo. I miss you," she admitted. "And Baxter misses you too." That was her boyfriend's giant dog who, despite destroying my favorite Converse once, was actually pretty sweet. "I miss your dumb dog too," I said, finally cracking a smile. We talked for hours that day, really talked, without the shadows of our parents between us. Before leaving, we took a selfie together, the first in years, and she hugged me tight. "Family isn't just blood," she whispered. "It's who shows up." The biggest plot twist came 2 weeks later when my grandmother Elaine showed up at Uncle Owen's place in her vintage Cadillac that she refuses to trade in despite everyone telling her to get something smaller. "I've sorted everything out," she announced, settling onto Owen's couch with the authority of someone who's been making things happen her way for 70-plus years. Apparently, Grandma had given my parents an ultimatum: either transfer legal guardianship to Uncle Owen and forfeit half their inheritance, or bring me home and keep everything. Guess which option they chose? The money. Obviously, Uncle Owen officially became my guardian the following week. My parents signed the papers without even looking at me, then ghosted faster than a Tinder date who realizes you don't look like your profile pic. Grandma made sure I was taken care of, though. She helped Owen find a bigger place, a cute craftsman style. House closer to my school with a yard and everything. She even set up a college fund for me that my parents couldn't touch. "Your grandfather would be ashamed of how they've acted," she told me over Sunday brunch at her place. "Family doesn't discard family." Life settled into a new normal. Uncle Owen turned out to be a pretty cool guardian. He made sure I did my homework, but also taught me how to change a tire and negotiate a salary. Real life skills, as he called them. Caitlin and Tyler found an apartment across town. She started coming over for dinner once a week, sometimes bringing Baxter, who now had his own special blanket at Owen's house to keep the shedding situation under control. My parents? They moved to Florida 6 months later, something about a business opportunity, but really just running from the family drama they'd created. They occasionally send generic birthday cards with Amazon gift cards inside. No return address. Update. It's been 2 years since that day my parents dropped me off at Uncle Owen's. I just got accepted to my dream college with a scholarship. So many of you have followed this journey with me and asked for this final update. Looking back, being thrown away was the best thing that could have happened. For those still struggling with family rejection. Sometimes the family you choose gives you stronger roots than the one you were born into. How did your own starting over story end? Last week I turned 18. No big fancy party, just a backyard BBQ at our house with the people who matter. Uncle Owen grilling burgers while arguing with Grandma about whether ketchup belongs anywhere near a hot dog. Caitlin and Tyler bringing the most epic homemade out. Mac and cheese and a bunch of friends from school crowding around our fire pit. My parents sent their usual Amazon gift card, $50 with a pre-printed message. I used it to buy a new doormat for our front porch that says, "Home Sweet Home." Sometimes I think about that day in the Pottery Barn kitchen when my life got flipped upside down like a TikTok challenge gone wrong. If you'd told 16-year-old me that being kicked out would lead to the best 2 years of my life, I'd have laughed in your face. But here's the truth. Getting thrown away taught me who really wants to keep me. Uncle Owen shows up to every school event with his camera ready, like a paparazzi. Grandma calls every Sunday night just to check in. Caitlin texts me stupid memes at midnight and saved me a drawer at her place for when I want to crash there. Tomorrow I'm heading to tour my future college campus. Uncle Owen's coming with me, already planning where we'll eat lunch and insisting on taking the classic standing by the school sign photo that he'll definitely frame. As for my old bedroom, Caitlin told me my parents converted it to a home gym after she moved out. Apparently no one uses it, and the dog wasn't even allowed upstairs in the first place. Sometimes the things and people that push you away are secretly setting you free. My parents thought they were discarding me, but really, they were accidentally delivering me straight to where I belonged all along. So here's to the outcasts, the extras, the ones who didn't fit the family portrait. Sometimes getting cropped out of one picture means you get to be the center of a much better one. And that's worth all the Pottery Barn glass tables in the world.